What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, that's where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update regularly, hit the like button and let's jump into all of this week's topics. First for this week, Bittydesign did a full release of that new 1/7 scale body that is very similar to a popular Japanese sports car. Sports car? Call that a sports car, right? Anyway, this, like many of Bittydesign's bodies, looks amazing. It fits on the 1/7 scale ARRMA platforms like the Infraction and the Limitless. There you go. Anyway, seeing the full release of this, you can see that not only is it a great looking body, but it also has a ton of additional parts that go with it that kind of allow you to customize it right out of the bag, I guess you'd say. But it's got like over fenders, rear louvers, a bunch of extra things that you can choose to either screw onto the Lexan body or not. I think that it looks pretty good. I like all the option parts that they include with it. They're still optional, I guess, but again, Bittydesign does such a good job with bodies. I love the 1/7 scale ARRMA platform, and I think this is just an awesome little mix. If you've got or have wanted one of those platforms and you like this style of body, something to consider. Currently, it's available at ARRMA or on ARRMA's website, but it usually comes pretty quickly where it's available in the United States directly through distributors like AMain. So if you're interested in that, you can go buy direct, or you can wait a little while and I'm sure it will hit AMain's site shortly. New this week from Vanquish products are H10 axle sets. Now this is the axles that come under the H10 Optic, and you can now buy those axles separately. These are a little bit wider than the F10 axles that you previously saw under the VS410 and the VRD platforms. These are about 0.6 inches wider than those axles, but they also include that hydraulic ram style steering up front. And the kit also includes the BTA servo mount with it. Inside these axle sets, they do come with the machined ring gear and locker, just like the F10 axle sets do. So if you're interested in picking those up, front and rear available separately. If you want to build a 4-wheel steer, you can just pick up a front and match it with your RTR platform, or if you got a custom build, you can pick up one of each. So check those out. There's a link to them in the description below, and there'll be links to the rest of today's stories down there as well. Speaking of H10 axles, Treal released some aluminum housings for the H10 set, so you can get these in a black anodized or a clear anodized housing, front or rear, just like. So if you want to go with aluminum axles and pair it with an axle set, easy to do. If you've got an RTR that you want to upgrade, you can pick up those as well. A bunch of option parts have been coming out. Treal has a number of other ones as well that I saw, including servo mounts, knuckles, other options like that. So again, if you're trying to option out an RTR platform, decent place to go. Knight Customs has been working on the Axial CJ7 lately. If you follow their social media, they've been posting pictures and video clips of their progress on that platform. This is a full 3D printed interior set, including the front seat area and the rear area as well. It appears that he's previewing a couple of different configurations that will be available. One with a rear seat, and that rear seat kind of integrates covering the rear shock towers to keep it looking super scale, but exactly like the truck functions out of the box. Or he's got one without a rear seat with a couple of other like cargo boxes that go back there that just discreetly cover those shock mounts just the same. So if you've got a 3D printer at home and you're interested in fitting this yourself, follow the Knight Customs social media and you'll be able to see when this gets released, or we'll cover it here on the Scale News again. But you can go to knightcustoms.com and see all of the files that they offer for all of the different platforms. They used to only be on My Mini Factory or Shapeways, but now selling it direct through his own website. If you haven't checked it out, it's worth a look. And speaking of 3D files, I released the Ecotech motor that I had used in the Jimmy's Moon Buggy build. Now, rather than having to purchase that full build-along package for just getting the motor, seems unreasonable. So I packaged that separately, put it up on my website. So if you'd like to 3D print your own little scale motor, it's up there for purchase. Multi-piece, so you can mix and match different colors or materials to get the look that you're after. Tons of files available there as well, in case you've got a printer that's just sitting and not doing anything fun. Another new release from Deluxe Fab this week, this time for the small scale stuff. This is an SCX24 NOD transmission setup. So NOD, I believe, stands for no overdrive in the Deluxe line of parts, but this is a comp style or open gear arrangement type design, which in their description, they say, don't worry about the gears. It'll handle the trail debris that you may be concerned about. A number of their transmissions are open in the 1/10 scale world, and I don't believe that it is often an issue. But if you're super worried, there's probably other options as well. But this is a good looking little transmission. They've got 2 different versions you can pick up, but the 2 versions pretty much relate to the skid plate. The transmission itself seems to be unchanged, but 2 different skid plate options, one that includes some upper link mounts and one that does not. So depending on what kind of build you're trying to put this in, those are the difference between those. Now this says it's compatible with SCX or AX24 platforms. If you're looking for something that moves the motor around, changes the weight and the style of a build, this looks pretty fun. I like it. I may have to try one out myself. So check out Deluxe Fab's website. I'll put a link to that transmission specifically down there as well. Earlier this year, ARRMA released the Grom series of vehicles, these tiny little vehicles in a number of different styles, from the Typhon to the Mojave, I believe maybe one other one as well, Senton maybe. Either way, they just released a brushless version of these as well, the 223S BLX. This one specifically is the Mojave, which is my favorite one. I've got the standard brushed one, and now this brushless one obviously raises the price because of the performance that it's going to offer. But they released these brushless versions in some new colors in each of the platforms. And yeah, they're just a solid truck. They take a beating. I imagine these brushless ones are going to be quite a bit faster. The brushed ones even are decently fast as they are. So little improvement there. Looking for a good gift idea, things like that. I think that this would be a good choice. Speaking of good choices, another good choice would be becoming a channel member. Segue. If you're interested in becoming a channel membership, it helps support the channel a little bit extra. You get to see the videos early, as well as extra videos like After News Delight, which is an extension of the Scale News Update. And then there's other just little candid behind the scenes videos that I'll pop up here and there as well. Again, helps support the channel a little bit extra. If you're interested in that, I appreciate it, and there's a link in the description below with all of the information that you need. This Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, come join us for Live Stream Takeover, the show Matt and I have been doing for like 240 some weeks in a row. We talk some about RC, a lot about random other things, and often we spin a wheel lately. However, that's going to be delayed this week. This week's praise wheel is going to be delayed 1 week. And it's not just because neither of us have shipped each other's cars, but there's more to it than that. So that's not coming this Wednesday. You just have to hold off. There will be something else coming this week from us both, but you'll have to wait an extra day before you see that. It will be worth it. FTX just released a new jet boat. This is called the Glider. Interesting name. Jet boats, always fun. I've always enjoyed jet boats for some reason. I don't know if it's just because there is no prop, so you can have just a little bit more disregard for the actual platform itself. This is a small one with like a 380 size motor in it. It is a water-cooled motor and all that though still, so it's, still gonna have some longevity to it, you would expect, but it's super cheap. Now, again, we've talked about FTX a million times on this show. Not as popular here in the States as far as distribution and things like that. But if you're in an area where you often are able to shop easily for FTX, and if you've never tried a jet boat, I think for the price tag on this at like, I don't know, $60 or something like that, it's worth trying out. I don't know why I felt like Glider was just a weird name. I can't think of the reason other than like Everglades, or am I missing something? I was trying to come up with what it could mean or why they named it that, but I was drawing an absolute blank beyond that. So if you have an idea, or if I'm like, sometimes something will get named and it goes right over my, just didn't even think about it. Could be super obvious, and for some reason this time I've tried to think about it and can't get what the name could possibly mean. If you have a better idea, please let me know. All right, this is the absolute opposite of news, but the Parma Exciter body. I saw this pop up as a newly listed product on AMain. Now, again, the Exciter body has to be I don't know, like 14 years old or so, something like that. But I just saw it pop up as a new available product on AMIN, which I was like, oh, wow, look at this. Was a super popular comp or sporty type body way back in the day. And it was a great body at that. I have a brand new one on a truck back here. Still a great choice. So if you're in that sporty world of things and you maybe we're just going to overlook this, or, you know, LCG, cheater truck, whatever you want to call it, this is a great body choice and one that's definitely worth taking another look at. Just slim, their photos, not that great. It's on like an old AX10, which should tell you how old this body is. Like it might be more than 14 years. It might be like 16 or more years old. So, but this is a great choice for a body. If you want something for performance that you can cut and trim and get slammed way down, great choice. Maybe something new to a bunch of you who just haven't seen it and they're just still kicking around. And another body choice for this week, RC 4-wheel drive put up that 1982 Toyota pickup, but in just this individual body pieces. So if you're trying to build something custom or you didn't want to buy a full body set, which is also available now, you can just pick up like just the cab or the hood is separately, which is weird. You would think if you got a cab, you'd want a hood, but if you're just replacing one piece to the other, it makes sense. So builders though, oftentimes just want a cab. So pick up a cab and hood, build yourself a custom truck, something like that. The option is there for you. I believe this was on their newest re-release of the TF2, the red versus blue, you know, thing which speaking, if you want a comical video for the wrong reasons, go check out RC 4-wheel drive's latest red versus blue video on their Facebook page. It's worth a couple minutes to go watch. And then this week, Carisma posted up that they're saying goodbye to the Range Rover Classic that they've got on top of the SCA 1E platform. Now, this is something that you don't see often as far as a company saying, oh, this is ending, here it is, here's what you've got, come, you know, what is left is what is left. You don't often see that. Sometimes you do at the very end of a limited run or something like that. This wasn't a limited run, but what is happening is that they are coming to the end of their licensing agreement for this. So after that is up, they cannot produce anymore, and that's why they're doing this last push. So if you're interested in picking that up, I believe that you can get this in a kit or roller as well as an RTR version. So if one of those suits you more than another, and it's just a body that you have to have, then get it while you can. But that is the last news story for this week. For this week's question, going off of the end or discontinuing of that Carisma vehicle, I'd like to know, what is the one product that you wish would come back that is a discontinued item? Whether it be a full vehicle or a certain type of hop-up part or whatever it may be. Maybe the company's completely gone out of it, whatever it is. Let me know. What is your one product you would like to bring back from the dead? And if you don't have a product you'd like to see come back, what's your preferred brand of tape measure? Extendable ruler, retractable ruler, whatever you call it. I call it a tape measure. But that's going to do it for this week's Scale News Update. I appreciate all of you watching the news every Tuesday. If you enjoy it, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, consider joining the channel membership if you'd like to help support Scale News a little bit extra. But that's going to do it for this week. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.